Hello and welcome back. Well, if you're considering a holiday in Turkey and thinking of bringing your drone with you, then this is the video for you. So stick around as I will discuss all the rules around flying the drones in Turkey, bringing the drones into Turkey, and I will also discuss specific rules which apply to Cappadocia only, as Cappadocia as an area has a separate set of rules for drones. Also, this video is for non-Turkish residents because there are separate rules apply for Turkish residents versus non-Turkish residents. So if you're a Turkish resident, this video is probably not for you. So let's get into it. Flying drones in Turkey. So Turkish law regarding drones is relatively confusing, but if you look deeply into it, you can break it down into two sections. So the section where the drones are regulated and you need to register them, and the section where the drones are unregulated and you don't have to register them. So in a simple terms, any drone above 500 grams must be registered in Turkey to fly. Any drone below 500 grams does not have to be registered, so you can simply just have one and fly it. So if you have something like this, it requires registration for you to be able to use in Turkey. Additionally, it also requires a pilot's license, insurance, etc. But what's most unfortunate is that in order to register the drone with Turkish civil authority, you must be a Turkish resident, as they require a Turkish national ID for registration. So if you're not Turkish resident, unfortunately, to be honest, there is no way you can take one of those and fly in Turkey because you simply cannot register it. On the other side, if you have a smaller one, something like that, which is under 500 grams, and you're a non-Turkish resident, you can just get it up and running in Turkey without any issues, and no one will ask you any questions. Bring the drones into Turkey. So if you want to bring the drone into Turkey, there is a separate customs regulations which require you to get the conformity documentation in order for you to clear the customs with your drone. And again, the same rules apply for the customs. So any drone under 500 grams does not require any registration. So the customs are not interested in them. Any drone above 500 grams requires Turkish civil authority registration, General Directorate of Aviation Authority registration. So if you're going into Turkey, right, unfortunately, you can't even bring these large drones with you. They will be seized by customs. Turkish customs are quite strict, and I've heard a lot of reports of drones being seized because you simply cannot get the registration done without being a Turkish citizen and not having a Turkish citizen ID number, whatever, Turkish national ID number. So even if you're considering just transiting through Turkey for a few days and you have your drone with you, which is above 500 grams, they will be seized by customs. And unfortunately, like in other countries, in most cases, they're not being returned to you on your exit, right? So they are confiscated and taken away from you for good. Again, that's a report. There is no clear regulations on exactly what happens, but based on the feedback that I've heard from people and from other fellow travelers, that's the general consensus for the rules. So if you're traveling to Turkey, either on holiday or transiting, and you're not a Turkish citizen, do not even consider taking a drone which is above 500 grams, because there is a high chance it will be seized. A drone below 500 grams, feel free. Just take one of those if you have it and go for it. On a side note, I have noticed recently there's been a lot of changes to drone laws around the world, and it seems to be that the smaller drones have a lot less and a lot relaxed regulations in most countries. So I think if you are looking to buy a drone as well, consider buying a smaller one, probably under 250 grams, because they are generally considered as toys, and in most countries they don't require registrations. Now, moving on to Cappadocia. Cappadocia, being a region in Turkey and an extremely beautiful region, introduced a separate set of drone requirements in order for you to fly. And unfortunately, currently, the drone requirements are that you need to have a registration from first, before you can get a registration in Cappadocia, you need to get a registration from General Directorate of Civil Aviation, which unfortunately you can't get if you're not a Turkish citizen. So if you can't get that registration, you can't get a registration from CSA, I believe it's called, Cappadocia Special Administration, something. And if you can't get that registration, you simply can't fly the drone in Turkey. And that actually applies to all the drones, no matter of the size or dimension or weight or anything. All drones fall into that category. So in Cappadocia, at this stage, it's simply not worthwhile flying a drone because the penalties are quite harsh. Your drone will be seized if you're caught flying it without the registrations. I've been to Turkey a few months ago. I've tried to get the registration done, even with the help of a Turkish citizen. And unfortunately, I was unsuccessful. So I ended up not flying a drone in Cappadocia. I did fly the drone, the small one, in other parts of the Turkey where we traveled through, but Cappadocia was out of the question. I just, I do not believe violating the laws in Turkey just simply worth it. And next, I want to talk about the rules and regulations of actually flying a drone in Turkey, because there have been few changes recently. So with the recent changes, there's been few additions to the generic sort of common rules and regulations for flying drones, right? Obviously, the generic ones in Turkey are your maximum height is 120 meters, your maximum speed is 50 kilometers per hour. You can't fly over, obviously, military bases, government buildings, over crowds, or next to the airports. And that's fine. That's sort of generic rules around the world. So with the new edition in Turkey, they added 2 more sections to it, which is you can't fly over historical areas, so any heritage sites, buildings, or historical landmarks. And you also can't fly over any archaeological digs. So in Turkey, there's quite a lot of exploration happenings, and there's a lot of sort of open areas where, you can get really nice drones of half excavated historical artifacts or something. So those 2 sections were added. So if you're flying in Turkey, make sure that you're aware of it and you don't fly over any historical or archaeological sites, because simply that will also get you in a lot of trouble. Otherwise, it's the rest of the Turkey, especially if you're flying with this little guy, it's pretty much open. It's extremely beautiful, and you can get some really good shots like this. So enjoy. If you're traveling to Turkey, you've got a small drone, take it with you. You'll get some really amazing shots. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just to recap, 2 types. So you can break down the Turkish law into 2 parts, basically. You have the large drones over 500 grams and the small ones. If you're not a Turkish citizen and have a larger drone, forget about it. Don't even consider bringing it to Turkey. If you have a smaller one, go for it. Enjoy flying it everywhere except Cappadocia, because in Cappadocia there is a separate set of rules apply. So I hope that's clear. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Got a lot more content coming up. So happy travel, safe travel, and enjoy your drone flying.